Good morning, and welcome to the First Universalist Church of Rochester, where we are called to nurture the Spirit and to serve the community. Welcome to this space where whether you are wearing red or green today, you are welcome. Of course, I would prefer if you wore red. But I'm so glad to see you all here on this Sunday morning. It is good to be together. If you are here for the first or the second or the third time, welcome to this community. We're so glad you are here. Please feel free to fill out a visitor's form, either by scanning the QR code in your order of service, you're in the pews, or if you're online, feel free to click the link in the chat so we can offer you a welcome beyond this worshiping space. Today, following the service, we will be having coffee hour, both here in our Clara Barton Lounge and also online. So please feel free to stick around for that and come fellowship with us. Come get to know some folks here at First Universalist. For our new folks, we have a UU and U session that happens on the third Sunday of every month. So it'll be happening next Sunday. After church, in the back of the sanctuary and online, we'll just be answering a few questions and talking a little bit about First Universalist. It is so important for us to be here together. And so this morning, we offer each other a greeting like we do every morning. However, before we turn to one another, both online and in person, we want to take a moment to be able to connect our two communities. So if folks here in person would be willing to turn towards our green camera, and Jack is going to pan, and if we could just offer a wave to our online worshiping community. We are so glad that y'all are here with us this morning, and so grateful to see you all joining us online. So please, if you would rise in body or in spirit, or turn your view to gallery view and offer your neighbor a greeting. Morning, it's good to see you. Let us sing, let us sing, let us sing. We are going to start off. I'm so sorry to pull y'all back. I feel like we're having a really good time today at church. We've missed it. I know. It's so good to be together. Let's sing. Come on, y'all. This is something we can at least join our voices in doing together. We're going to sing hymn number 18, What Wondrous Love. If you'd like to, read it in your hymnals, it's in your gray hymnals, and also the lyrics will be up here on the screen. So let's join in singing. Let us rise in body or in spirit and sing hymn number 18, What Wondrous Love.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul?
Beautiful. Please be seated.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So as Valentine's Day rolls around, I'm reminded of a song that we might know by an artist named Bette Midler. And the opening words of her song, The Rose, go, and please sing along with me because that is not my blessing. Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed. I always assumed that this song was written with the intention of dedicating it to another, and always saw it as such. And as I've grown and experienced different types of love, it made more sense to me that it be dedicated to oneself. Love can take so many different shapes and forms, and I've realized that those shapes and forms are formed in part by the self-love we have for ourselves. We can forget to set boundaries and feel like we are drowning. We can experience difficulty in love and feel like it is cutting us. We can even set a fence around ourselves and feel starved of the love of others. Having struggled with self-love for a very, very long time, I have come to the realization that for me, providing myself with the love that I have so freely given friends, family, partners, and even strangers allows me to better love others and truly embrace them, and allows me to more easily witness love in all its shapes and bloom. So in the name of the love we have for each other and for ourselves, come, let us worship together. As Connie Vach lights our chalice at First Universalist Church, and you light your chalice in your own homes, will you join me in saying our chalice words in unison? Words. May we be a people of welcome, here to grow in heart and mind and spirit, and may we reach out to serve our community. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in our affirmation of faith, followed by our doxology. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the source and meaning of life. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all.
Dear ones, this morning we are gathered 2 days before a celebration of love. And I don't know if you're feeling it this morning, but I am feeling the love right here in this space, in this place. This church that has held love at the center for generations upon generations upon generations. This morning, your offering goes to support this love right here, held right here in this space, and then spread out throughout our community, throughout the greater Rochester area, and throughout our world. This morning, when you give to First Universalist Church, you are giving to love. For folks here in person, if you'd like to give online, you can scan the QR code in your pews or drop an offering in the offering basket. For folks online, please click the link in the chat to give to First Universalist. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you give here. Thank you for your generosity.
To share a little bit about where this song comes from that you're going to hear the choir sing this morning. So this is from the movie The Greatest Showman, which you might know of. The song is called This Is Me. The movie tells the story of P.T. Barnum, of the sort of fictionalized story of P.T. Barnum. And this comes from the character of the bearded lady. So all of the people in this movie were outcasts from society, and found family with one another, and learned to stand up for themselves and say, you know, I'm here and I can take space in the world. And I think it's a really fitting song for this topic of loving you and loving myself at the same time. I can love you, but I also have to love myself first. So I hope you enjoy This Is Me.
Thank
Beautifully done, choir. Thank you so much. What a delight. Our story this morning is a story with some really interesting illustrations. And it's a story that really takes on a bit of a serious and more deep topic around what is a self, and it does it in kind of a silly way, which I think is oftentimes helpful for those of us here to be able to maybe not take ourselves too seriously. So our story this morning is called Myself, Yourself by Esme Shapiro. I have been with myself for a very long time. Myself is not yourself. What is a self? Is it inside of us or outside of us? Is it the way we feel or how we make each other feel? Is it the things we do, what we put on our toast, the way we button our coats? Myself really likes yourself. I like the ways you wiggle your toes. I like the ways you tip-tap your tiny toes. I like the way you bake cranberry butter pie muffins, and the way you always make enough to share. Some say you bake too much, but I say there's no such thing, mostly. I like the songs you sing at bath time, twee, twee, deedle dee, beedle, beedle, bum, bum, bee. I like whenever we collect acorns, you always plant one in the ground so it will grow big and strong. Does an acorn have a self? I think so. I like that when we spot mushrooms, I paint mine red and you paint yours yellow. That's where it gets a little trippy. I like that when you are scared, you always sit on my head. And when I am scared, you always let me sit on yours. Thank you. Myself is my very own self. This is my tummy. These are my boots. And this is my very special sprout hat. I like that I always stop and smell the chestnut nettle roses. You know what else myself likes about myself? I like that when my friend is sad, I always have a sprout they can lean on. And when myself needs to be by myself, I know how to be kind to myself. I am never truly alone because I always have myself. Myself comes with me here. It follows me there. I bring myself everywhere. Myself is the only self I have. Yourself is the only self you have. Yourself is a lovely self, so take some time to get to know yourself. You will see that yourself is a wonderful self indeed. And side by side, we can be ourselves together. The end. Dear ones, this morning, as we do on every second Sunday, we are gathering a food-in gathering for our Nestor Street food cupboard. I know some folks have already brought some food, and it looks like, oh gosh, like some Amazing home supplies too, deodorant and soap and dish soap. Thank you for doing that. I know those are things that it's hard for our folks at Nestor Street Food Cupboard to come by. If anybody here has other food items or food bags that you would like to donate, if you can raise them up in the air, we'll maybe have some folks to come around and come get them. If Lily, do you want to help us out with coming to grab some food from folks? We can certainly do that, or have other folks grab some. Feel free to bring them forward. Awesome. Thank you. I know we're overflowing here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity to the Nestor Street Food Cupboard. I know that they are really counting on our donations and really appreciate them. Dear ones, it's time to transition from our story to this reverent time of sharing in the joys and the sorrows of our gathered community. If anyone would like to, you can take a moment to listen from this heart-centered place. I'd like to place a hand over your heart to be able to listen from here, from this central, centered spot. As Cass places stones into a bowl, I will read aloud the joys and the sorrows of our gathered community. All that are online are also invited to share your joys and your sorrows in the chat. This morning we share a joy from Catherine Coates. Her joy is that her book, Longing for Intimacy, Glimmers of Hope, is an Amazon #1 bestseller, a collection of poems and prayers to shed light on life's mystery. It's available on Amazon or can be ordered from your bookstore of choice. Catherine, congratulations. What great news. We share a joy this morning from Marty Eggers. Grandson Cal brought the house down in a musical at Brighton High School this past weekend. And we also share another joy about Cal. Go Cal! Cal was accepted into the theater program at Northwestern this coming summer. Yay! We share a joy from Lois and Greg Baum, who are celebrating their 28th wedding anniversary. And we share joy from Kelly Scott, who yesterday celebrated 29 years sober. Yeah! Woo! That is no small feat. I love it. We share a mixture of a joy and a sorrow this morning from Eva Silaberte, a joy that she's finally moved out of her apartment and a toxic housing situation, and a sorrow that as a result of that, she is experiencing houselessness and staying in a variety of places with no landing place for the next few weeks. So let's keep Ava in our prayers. We share a sorrow from Bill Schubmail and also from Richard Reed this morning for the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. Bill shares, I believe the news of the horrific earthquakes in Turkey and Syria will peak and then fade. So please offer your prayers, if you're so inclined, in donations now and in the next several months, holding all of those who are affected, the deep devastation. We share a sorrow this morning from the Scott family. The Scott family shares with sorrow the recent death of friend and social justice hero Richard Scobie. Dick Scobie served as director of the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee from 1972 to 1998, overseeing, among other things, its incredibly impactful series of congressional delegations to Central America. He was also a talented folk and jazz musician and a longtime stalwart of Ferry Beach, the UU Camp and Conference Center in Saco, Maine. For 30 years, Scott family mornings at the beach began with Dick serenading the rising sun on bagpipes. He was one of a kind. We also share a sorrow this morning from Janice Mary Jones. One of my few relatives left, Jack Dresser, passed last week. He is the last of the old folks. 3 days later, his son, Danny, also passed. Oh, Janice Mary, holding you and all who knew and loved them in our hearts this morning. That is a lot of loss for one family. We will drop one stone into the bowl this morning for all the joys shared by our online community. And we'll drop one stone to represent all of the sorrows shared by our online community. And we'll drop one final stone into the bowl to represent all of the joys and sorrows left unspoken in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts. May all be held in the heart of love. And I'm just now remembering that I skipped a joy this morning from Richard Reed. So if you could put a stone in, I'm so sorry. Richard shares a really deep appreciation for all the support he's been receiving in his recovery from his surgery, and especially is very grateful to the caring committee and to so many for sending cards, making calls. So we'll also hold that additionally in our hearts this morning. May all be held in the heart of love. Dear ones, for this morning's prayer, we're actually going to engage in a bit of a guided meditation. And so I really want to invite you to kind of get centered for that experience. So wherever you find yourself, whether you're here in a pew, home on a couch, or in a chair, I just really want to invite you to lean back into your seat, to allow some of the tension we're holding in our muscles to just loosen, to take a deep breath in and out. And as I think it might help you to also close your eyes or soften your gaze, to enter into the realm within, where you can access imagination, imagery, place. And our meditation this morning comes from Don Miguel Ruiz. So let us just enter into this time. We are going to share a beautiful dream together. A dream that you will love to have all of the time. In this dream, you are in the middle of a beautiful, warm, sunny day. You hear the birds, the wind, a little river. You move toward the river. And at the edge of this river is an elder in meditation. And you see that out of this elder's head comes a beautiful light of different colors. You try not to bother them, but they notice your presence and they open their eyes. They have the kind of eyes that are full of love and a big smile. You ask them how they are able to radiate all that beautiful light. You ask them if they can teach you to do what they are doing. They reply that many years ago, they asked the same question of their elder teacher. And this elder begins to tell you their story. My teacher opened their chest and took out their heart, and they took a beautiful flame from their heart. And they opened my chest, opened my heart, and put that little flame inside it. They put my heart back in my chest, and as soon as my heart was inside me, I felt intense love. Because the flame they put in my heart was their own love. That flame grew in my heart and became a big fire. A fire that doesn't burn but purifies everything it touches. And that fire touched every one of the cells of my body, and the cells of my body loved me back. I became one with my body, but my love grew even more. That fire touched every emotion of my mind, and all of the emotions transformed into a strong and intense love. And I loved myself completely and unconditionally. But the fire kept burning, and I had the need to share my love. I decided to put a little piece of my love in every tree, and the trees loved me back, and I became one with the trees. I put a piece of my love in every flower, in the grass, in the earth, and they loved me back, and we became one. And my love grew more and more and more to love every animal in the world. They responded to my love, and they loved me back, and we became one. But my love kept growing and growing. I put a piece of my love in every crystal, in every stone, in the ground, in the dirt, in the metals, and they loved me back. And I became one with the earth. And then I decided to put my love in the water, in the oceans, in the rivers, in the rain, in the snow. And they loved me back, and we became one. And still my love grew more and more. I decided to give my love to the air, to the wind. I felt a strong communion with the earth, with the wind, with the oceans, with nature, and my love grew and grew. I turned my head to the sky, to the sun, to the stars, and put a little piece of my love in every star, in the moon, in the sun, and they loved me back. And I became one with the moon and the sun and the stars, and my love kept growing and growing. I put a little piece of my love in every human, and I became one with the whole of humanity. Wherever I go, whomever I meet, I see myself in their eyes, because I am a part of everything, because I love. And then the elder opens their own chest and takes out their heart with that beautiful flame inside, and they put that flame in your heart. And now that love is growing inside of you. Now you are one with the wind, with the water, with the stars, with all of nature, with all animals, and with all humans. You feel that heat and the light emanating from the flame in your heart. Out of your head shines a beautiful light of different colors. You are radiant with the glow of love, and you pray. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything I have ever truly needed. Thank you for this opportunity to experience this beautiful body and this wonderful mind. Thank you for living inside me with all of your love, with your pure and boundless spirit, with your warm and radiant light. Thank you for using my words, for using my eyes, for using my heart to share your love wherever I go. I love you just the way you are, and because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Help me to keep the love and the peace in my heart, and to make that love a new way of life, that I may live in love the rest of my life. Amen. 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 Let us share in some shared silence to allow our attention to go towards the love in our own hearts. Out of the love that we feel and the love that we know, we hold both joy and sorrow in this space. Both the joy of being loved and also the sorrows of losing those we love. Sorrows of global devastation, the sorrows that so many of us come in here and hold silently. And to honor those sorrows, let us sing our hymn of contemplation this morning. Hymn number 279, By the Waters of Babylon. We'll sing it from our seats. Twice through. So as Cass and I have been mentioning during our service, we are just 2 days away from love's hallmark holiday, right? Let's be real, Valentine's Day, right? And so, even though, you may celebrate, you may not, it does feel like a ripe time to be talking about love. And rather than focus on the love of a romantic partner or the love of one's family or friends, I am going to talk a bunch about the love you deserve from yourself. And if this feels challenging to you, if this feels uncomfortable, I want you to know you are not alone in this room. I want you to know many of us here struggle with feeling loved, with knowing that we are loved just as we are, and especially with this kind of funky message that I think many of us received, that to love oneself is narcissistic or self-aggrandizing or some other such thing that we are told to keep ourselves small and to keep ourselves from loving ourselves. We are conditioned to believe that there are things that are wrong with us and beyond love. We are told throughout our lives that perfection is something we can achieve, and each and every one of us is failing at it. And so it feels really important to be reminded this morning that each and every one of us deserves our own love. That each and every one of us deserves to know the love we offer to others and the love we imagine those around us deserve. You are loved just as you are. No conditions. And you deserve that love that is yours because you are you. And the love you have to offer is beautiful. In this space, we are the inheritors of the radical theological belief that every person is loved by their creator, by that which is larger than themselves. Universalism tells us that each and every person is worthy of love, that no one is disposable, that what we regard as worthy of our attention and awe is a loving force for good in our lives. And this theology has always been a challenge for us to live into. It is challenging to believe that those we see as evil or hateful are also worthy of this love. It is and can be challenging to believe that we ourselves are worthy of this love, especially in moments when we've made mistakes or fallen short or done something we are not proud of. Yet this expansive love of the divine is for all of us, and it is ours, and it is meant for each and every one of us. You are loved. You too are loved. And you too are deserving of the love that is for all of us. To cultivate a loving voice towards oneself is a lifelong practice. Maybe not for some of us here. Maybe some of us here know in our core that we are loved, but for those of us who may struggle to cultivate a loving voice towards ourselves, it can be a lifelong practice. I know people who write love letters to themselves in their journals to practice speaking with a loving voice to themselves. I know people who regularly list things they appreciate about themselves. There are Buddhists in our community who embrace a loving kindness meditation that includes those around them as well as themselves. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. We engaged in a meditation this morning from Don Miguel Ruiz, right out of his best-selling book, The Four Agreements. A meditation focused on the love within. There are so many ways to cultivate this loving voice towards yourself if this is something you feel the need to grow and to learn and to live into. I have heard and read different points of view about the old adage, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Made famous by drag superstar, of course, RuPaul. A wise sage, if you will. Some would say we learn how to love ourselves by loving others, that we can get there through the love that we give outwardly. Others would say we begin with loving ourselves so that we can fully love others. And I'm inviting us this morning to focus on loving ourselves for a reason. And what could that reason be? Because our seasonal theme is boundaries. Yay! And I feel called to bring the voice of Prentis Hemphill into this sacred space. Prentis Hemphill is a writer, a teacher, a host of the Finding Our Way podcast, and the founder of the Embodiment Institute, which is a space for learning embodiment in the practice of just relationships. It's a somatic institute. Very cool. Prentis Hemphill has one of the most often quoted lines about boundaries. They write, "Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously." Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously. They wrote this quote at the end of a brief post on their Instagram account after talking about the complicated nature of visiting with their dad, forgiveness, and the need to be in contact. And I do not claim to know the fullness of Prentis Hemphill's experience with their father, but the line is striking. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously. It puts into sharp focus the need to not sacrifice ourselves to love others. That is not truly loving to ourselves. It sets us up to resent others. This quote also invites in the loving part of setting boundaries between people. We set boundaries because we love ourselves and we love others, not because we hate people and we want to cut them off. Our story reminds us this morning of myself being separate from yourself, and invites us to appreciate ourselves in the ways we are individuals and in what we bring to relationships with others. I love this thing about how you show up. I love this thing about yourself. I can love a thing you are doing without the need to participate in it. I can be myself, which means saying things others do not agree with, or taking the space I need to process information. To set boundaries from a place where both of ourselves are loved means prioritizing what I need out of the love I have for myself. Prioritizing what I need out of the love I have for myself. And then being honest with you about those needs, because I care about you enough to be honest with you. I think this is hard sometimes, because I know the instinct to keep my needs silently to myself in a way to remain protected. I am reminded this morning that it is not truly loving to be dishonest in service of the feelings of others. It is not truly loving to believe we know how people are going to react, so we keep things on the inside or do not tell the truth in order to control or manage their response. This is where it starts to get tricky, and where boundaries that come out of loving myself and yourself simultaneously come into practice. All of us here and beyond deserve loving and kind communication. And this way of living in relationship, all of us are deserving of our own love first. And sometimes that does mean distance. It does mean interacting with others on our own terms. Sometimes it means I need to move away from relationship now in order to hold open the possibility of engaging in relationship later. Sometimes it means I cannot be in contact with you because I love myself too much to hear mean or cruel words spoken about me. Sometimes it means that even though I like spending time with you, there is something inappropriate about our relationship that is not good for me. And so I need to engage in a limited way or not at all. The love of self is where we start. And the love of others can coexist in healthy ways when we begin with the love of self. This religious tradition, Unitarian Universalism, holds at its center an image of an interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. I felt like our meditation touched on that this morning. In order to claim my spot on that web, to truly claim this interdependence, I am here on this earth to learn how to be in relationship with others, how to offer love, support, and encouragement, how to ask for help when I need it, how to acknowledge that my life relies so deeply on the lives and labor and presence of so many others, some whose names I know and others whose names and faces I will never know. How to acknowledge that there are others who rely on my labor, and my presence in this world who will never know me. To acknowledge and uplift this interdependent web, I must tend to relationships. And a huge part of this is being intentional about my boundaries. Being intentional about what I can give and what I can receive, being in balance. Because it is not an interdependent web if I am giving of myself all the time. I'm sharing this morning because I know we have folks in this community that show up a lot for others. Interdependence and right relationship are not about who can give the most and who does the most work. It is about trust. Building trust that we will be cared for and provided for by the earth, by our own labor, by the care of others. It is about knowing and tending to my impact, where I am showing up, how much I am taking, where I have caused harm, and it is about love. Love of this world, love of other creatures and human beings, and yes, a love of ourselves. Boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and love me simultaneously. I wonder where this quote calls you to set some boundaries in your life. I wonder where you may need to courageously lean into self-love and say no to something, even though it may be hard. I wonder where you might have experienced resentment this past week, where a direct conversation and reflection might be in order about the boundaries you need to responsibly take ownership of. I wonder where you are called to love yourself more fully. Not out of a sense of shame because you should, but from a place of knowing you deserve the best from yourself. Because you do. May we learn to love ourselves more fully. May we learn to love others through the boundaries we set and the relationships we bring intention to. May we remember we are always in relationship with a larger love that loves us. And may our relationships be transformed, adjusted, and maybe even tweaked by allowing more love to flow in and through them. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. As we enter into this time and continue on in this time of drawing boundaries and learning about boundaries with one another, I'm pretty sure that love will guide us through it all. Right? I think so. So we got to sing about it, right? So we're going to sing hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us. Please rise in body or in spirit and let us join in singing this hymn. Please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame this morning with these words printed on our screen or in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again. So I'm going to invite you to just take a moment to get in touch with that light in your hearts. Place a hand over your heart wherever you are. I want to just invite you to take a look around this room. You're online, to turn your view to gallery view. Take a look at who is here with you on this journey. Take a look at who we are traveling through that hard night with together. Take a look at who is here with us this morning. Dear ones, may we be in touch today and these days with the love inside of us, this love of ourselves that we deserve. Let us know that we are loved. And may we go and be that love with the most deep, loving boundaries ever with everyone we may meet. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so.